Hey everyone, I'm Grant the Rusty Autoholic guy and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm yanking the BEW TDI out of this Beetle for my TJ Wrangler. So I'm going to get to it. Okay, I've decided I'm not trying to show people how to dissect a Beetle because this thing is completely way over engineered, but I'm almost to the point where I can take the front fenders and bumper off so I can get better access to everything else. I've removed the headlights, I've removed a ton of stuff. So yeah, we're just going to get back to it. Alright everyone, the other day I wrapped up taking off as much as I could off of this BEW TDI. I spent a lot of time, and I didn't capture any of this on film, just getting the wiring harness off without breaking anything. Part of the reason why for that is I can return the wiring harness if it isn't damaged for a core refund for the standalone wiring harness and ECU that I had gotten for this motor. So it was worth it to take the extra time to be very careful and diligent in taking this off without damaging it. But with that said, I think the only things I have left to disassemble now are the axles and the exhaust. And quite frankly, I might just take a sawzall to the exhaust. But the axles I need to be kind of careful taking out. Or do I? I don't know. I'm going to jack up the Beetle and see how complicated it is to get the axles out. If it looks really hard, I just kind of had the realization that I can cut them because I don't need the axles. So yeah, we're going to get back to it. Alright, after doing a little bit of research online, I've realized I can just unbolt this tire, get to the 6 bolts that are holding the axle to the automatic transmission, and once I pull those bolts out, the drive shaft can kind of stay in place and won't prevent me from pulling the entire engine and transmission assembly out. Though I still need to go underneath and cut the exhaust pipe. I don't want to deal with trying to pull it off. I'm going to just cut part of it off, and then I'll pull the rest of it off once I have it out of the vehicle, because I think I'm going to have to scavenge part of it as my down pipe once I get this into my Wrangler. So I'm going to get back to it. now I remember why I don't like working on Volkswagens. One of the bolts on the driver's side axle was stripped before I even touched it. I've been trying to figure out how can I get this out. I've tried everything I know. I can't get a welder up in there. It's too far. I have nothing to weld onto. So now I got to take apart the whole front suspension because Volkswagen, in their infinite wisdom, used 12-point Torx and they strip. Even though I have somewhere around here the correct tool to do it, but it was already stripped. So yeah, now I get to take the axle nut off. I get to beat the crap out of the axle to push the axle out. I'm going to have to disconnect the sway bar, and then I should be able to pull the engine out. Like literally, one bolt is holding me up. So if I seem a little bit frustrated, it's because I am. So I'm going to get to hammering. Give some credit where some credit is due. I have the axle out, and when I go to pull the engine forward, it will come right out. All I had to do was undo one end link, undo 3 bolts on the lower control arm, and I was able to get it out. So that took me all of 5 minutes, and I've been fighting with the other bolt for an hour. So hindsight being 2020, I should have just done that first, but I really wanted to be able to just disconnect the axle. But it's all good. Now I need to undo the motor mount on the bottom. Then I'll get my engine hoist over. I'll hook it to the top of the motor. I'll undo the motor mounts on each side. And this whole engine should pull straight forward and out. So hopefully soon I'll have this engine extracted. I am going to take it slowly because I'm not completely sure I have everything on the backside disconnected. So yeah, I'm going to get back to it. Alright everyone, that's all I'm doing. I got the engine out. Didn't come out the way I thought it would. At the end, I just started hacking and cutting stuff off. I'm not keeping this car. I have no desire to keep this car. Quite frankly, I'm going to fill it up with all the scrap metal that I can find in my shop and around my property, and I am going to get this thing scrapped. So, the other thing I want to do before I take this off to the scrapyard is get this hunking automatic transmission off of it, because that thing weighs a ton and I have absolutely no need for it. But the engine is out. Didn't quite come out as easily as I had hoped. That axle fought me probably harder than it should have, and now knowing how easy it was to just hit out the axle from the other side, it's probably what I should have done from the get-go. But that only held me up about an hour. But overall, we're making great progress. The engine is out, and the next time I'm going to strip everything off the engine that I don't need, but that also includes moving all the accessories up with the accessory relocation bracket that I had bought and shown a while back. Actually, I have to kind of find it. I'm not sure what I did with it, but I know it's around here somewhere. But anyway, that's all I have. I'm Whipped, and I will see y'all again very soon. Goodbye.